Here we go, starting up the stream. Can everyone hear me? Well, I can hear myself, so let's begin. Sorry for the short delay, there were some technical issues that cropped up here and there. So today, I'll be covering a combination of two different games, hopefully. Maybe a third if we have time, but if that happens, I'll have to do some quick UI element changes. So welcome to stream, Dibuman, Metal General, Leonardo, Jaden, Philip, Zachary, and Metal. And you'll see soon what Base Abyss is all about. Cross our fingers, this is going to work. I hope. Not just X though. This intro is lying. X will have the help of several other characters. Greetings everyone, my name is Atterville, and I welcome you all to my live Let's Play of Base Abyss, a Mega Man fan game developed by Iragination Games. I'll be playing through all 19 levels and a few of the custom levels that are available online. The first main difference for this game is that we actually have access to at least 11 different characters. Base, Vile in his right armor, 32-bit Fireman, Samus, Doom Guy, 8-bit Fireman, Freeze Man, Classic Mega Man, Classic Proto Man, Classic Metal Man, and Mega Man X. I'm gonna start off with Base. Please select the next characters I should play as I'll always swap to a different character for each stage to add to the variety. There we go. Here are the controls, by the way. And it reset it, of course. So let's see if I got it correct. Each character has a slightly different controls, and I'll be playing this game using the keyboard, so move and jump with the arrow keys, dash with shift, fire your buster or whatever weapon you equipped with the control key. And with Base I have two weapons, the Base Buster, and a buster I can charge up, I guess. So we already had Batons and now Imp Demons from Doom. Oh, by the way, this game contains some gore, so if you're a bit squeamish, please tune out for the next hour or so. The objective for all these stages is to collect the necessary minimum number of these CDs scattered around the stages. How's the gameplay looking, by the way? I had to crop it specifically so it'd look good. Once you hear that sound effect, you know you collected the minimum number of CDs. Welcome to the stream, Mega Man 2407 and Buster. Gotta be careful as these spikes are instant death. And there's the end of the stage. Only needed 4, but I took all of them, so I get it perfect. If I was doing a score attack run, I would have continued on from here, but instead, I'll be playing as the next character. As someone else mentioned Samus, I'll be playing as her next. Please select the next character. Alright, Samus starts out with the Wave Beam, I guess. She jumps higher than Base, so I in fact can hit the spikes right over here. Just as a demonstration, and she runs really fast. She probably starts out with the Speed Booster, In addition to that, she starts out with the missiles and the super missiles. When running around like that, it's rather hard to control. This will not be a 100% playthrough of the game, by the way. I know I will miss a few of the CDs here and there. And I know I will die in several places, as already demonstrated. At least damage boosting works. At least damage boosting protects me against instant death obstacles. Not a perfect. Spazer beam, okay. So let's play as Vile now, as Daibuman suggested. And it's rare to have 16 or 30-bit fan games for sure data. Let's see... Vile. Then I'll do Freeze Man. Whoops! Jump too high there. I keep forgetting about the jump height. Physics are not the same as the classic games. Yeah, he's definitely slower. I know. That's part of the reason why I started doing these LPs, to get better. This stage may be a problem. At least I one-shot most of these enemies now. I first heard about this game during Nathaniel Hoover's stream. Well, this level is rather short. I'll play with him for one more stage, then I'll swap over to Freeze Man. Well, each character's physics are a bit different, so it takes a while to get used to them. That's why I keep running into these walls and whatnot. And for some reason we have the music blocks here. At least I can stand on the sides of these spikes. And I wish my field of vision was bigger too. There's so many blind jumps here. Well, there is a way to make the field of vision bigger, but it causes other issues with the game, hence why I didn't activate them. This is not a good game, I just find it to be an interesting game. Next up is Freeze Man, as someone requested. Yeah, I don't know why Freeze Man is here. Welcome to the stream, by the way. Yes, it's me and Proby. So here's Freeze Man. Basically has a freeze cracker from Mega Man 7, but he can spam it a lot more, and the sound effects better. Also, he can run all around the place, just like Samus can. Please pick the next character I should play as. 30-bit Fireman, got it. Another blind jump there. Most of these stages are rather short, it seems. I thought these would be at least twice as long, but guess not. They would be longer if I decide to set out and collect everything. It'll be better though. First I'll do 30-bit Fireman, then 8-bit. Welp, I didn't realize I had access to sliding. Or sliding would be that strong. Oh, that's neat. Fireman is actually immune to lava. well, immune to instantly dying against the lava, but instead he takes some damage over time. Yeah, I heard it was cancelled. That was unfortunate. At least I didn't die instantly this time, Philip. Oh, by the way, sliding actually works the same way as dashing, in the sense it increases your movement speed even while jumping. This is not the only background this game has, but we'll be seeing them in the future. Well, when he says good, he means in the last state. Although, as I said before, it was a bit messy even during its development state. Perfect. Boss is coming up, so... Actually, let me do the boss battle with 30-bit Fireman. Hi, Caco Demon. Must be a rather durable one. It should be dead by now. Oh, it's angry now. Instead of firing blue energy projectiles, it fires green ones. Down it goes. Well, we already had Doom bosses, so might as well... Well, we already had regular Doom enemies, so might as well have Doom bosses. Time for 8-bit Fireman. So a regular shot is a fully charged shot, essentially. I think this is the same Buster shot from Fireman Incoming Storm, also by Iragination Studio, also by Iragination Games. Just like 30-bit Fireman... Never mind then. He's only immune to part of the lava, not all of it. Essentially, this is a race to the top level. He's only immune to this lava, not the rising lava. Got it. Thank you for the damage boost there, Demon. Whoops! Slid right into the spikes there. Well, I guess up to this point, this fan game has been rather easy. So it makes sense to have a difficulty spike sometime. And this directly follows the first boss battle. Can't see ahead. Sliding works basically the same way as dashing, except you slide under the projectiles. The enemies are the easiest enemies to defeat in this game, as they get stunned every time I hit them with any weapon. all the music's awesome though. That's one boon this game has. Perfect. Who should I play as next? Welcome to the stream, Gokulus. And yeah, I don't know why the Doom enemies are here. Metal Man time. So, just the Metal Blade. I can't fire the Metal Blaze up. I can't fire the Metal Blaze upwards. I can only fire straight ahead or downwards. I can't even angle it upwards. Frankly, Metal Man feels weak relative to at least half the cast. Oof. Physics. I'm just gonna make a beeline for the exit then. If you're trying to speedrun this game, you could probably complete it under 20 minutes or so. Oh, trust me, Cathode Raybits is gonna be much harder than this game. This is the easier warm-up game. I don't know, speedrun for April Fools? People have speedrun even more broken games than this. See Mega Man 1 entry on the DOS. See Mega Man 1 through 3 on DOS. This game is entertaining in the sense you can play so many different characters and seeing all the different elements mashed together. Not necessarily in a good way though. If you want to see a better execution of mashing together elements, see Mushroom Kingdom Fusion. Oh right, the exit won't open up until I collect enough CDs. I forgot about that. No worries, only one more CD needed. That's it. Well, with certain characters, those enemies aren't too bad to deal with, but with others, well, you're almost certainly gonna take a hit. Who should I play as next? I already did this. Sure, Doom Guy. Even more broken in this game. So let's see. Doom Guy has his rifle, pistol. He also starts out with a shotgun, chain gun, rocket launcher, and plasma rifle. No BFG, sadly. Considering the inclusion of Doom enemies in this game, Doom Guy's inclusion doesn't feel out of place. Oh yes, I remember seeing that speedrun. That was awesome. Oof. Forgot about that, and I moved too fast. I do like how these status have nooks and crannies for other weapons, but Generally, the design of the levels is poor and feels slapdash. So that's actually where it spawns. No Clue Buster. Add that to the list of random elements in the game, or semi-random elements, or stuff the dev thought was cool. Frankly, I feel this game tries to run a rule on rule of cool, and kind of fails at that. There are 19 levels in this game, but it also supports custom level design. I don't know why this fan game got custom level support in for some reason. And you can submit your levels online too. It is a Flash game, Zachary. But last week I played Roku-chan, and that was also a Flash game. And that beats the quality of most other fan games I played on the channel. $19. There's the exit. Alright, who should I play as next? Let's give Classic Mega Man his time to shine then. We have Classic Mega Man and Bad Box Art Mega Man. I'm gonna save Mega Man X for the final stage for a very particular reason. Now we have Super Metroid tiles for some reason. Hello, Baron of Hell. Is it Baron of Hell or Hell Knight? I know both are power swaps of each other. Down he goes. As this is only a boss level, I'll play it in for one more stage. More Metroid tiles. Well, it was only made by one person, and I believe it's more like just a concept game. But now you're a regular enemy. A weaker version of your boss form. We're delving deeper into hell. I guess that explains where all the Doom enemies are coming from. Note that when these platforms are riding in these wind, or whatever these symbols mean, they change their trajectory. Save. Technically 10 more levels because I want to check out some of the custom levels that people made. Oh goody, this stage is now laggy a bit. Bit harder, but guess it works. I do like how the stage has distinct worlds in it, sort of, that are separated by bosses at the end. One of the only things this game gets correct. Let's try out Proto Man. I think this was 13. Yep. That was unimpressive. That woman is right, but we'll get to that later on in this game. All things considered, Proto Man feels like a disappointing character. From what I played so far, the characters are not balanced with each other. Some characters are clearly better than others. Compare Samus with Proto Man, for example, or Vile with Doom Guy. 8-bit Flame Man, well, both versions of Flame Man are pretty powerful. For one, you're immune to the lava at the bottom of the stage. That isn't rising lava, of course. That's supposed to be blocked off, but guess not. Don't know why it was lagging there. Now I'll play as regular old Mega Man. I'll save Ultimate Armor X for the final stage. At least we start with the dash boots, and we can wall jump. One of the only characters who can actually wall jump in the game. The only character, in fact. Who are we fighting? Oh no. Who are you? Dark Samus. I know she's here from all the explosions happening off screen. Unlike her, I can at least fire through the walls. Please run back here, thank you. So regular Samus. Fun fact, I can actually run as fast when playing as her, so her ability set is the same as when I'm playing as her, so I guess it's fair in that sense. She doesn't have hidden CPU powers. She doesn't gain extra powers when being played as... She doesn't gain extra powers when played by the CPU. I'm gonna die here. SAX Samus, that's the one I wanted to refer to. I got my terminology mixed up. This may be a fun time to play face-off against her with regular old Samus too. In fact, I'll do it once I defeat her with X. Assuming I can. boss battle would be easier if I was playing as a character who was a bit faster or had greater health. Perfect. Or if I was playing as Ford Armor X. One more hit by her and I'm dead, I think. She's done. This was a chaotic boss battle. There's SAX Parasite. Good thing it didn't absorb us. Now let's play as the second Armor X. Bad Box Archer, let's play as him first. This was my least favorite boss battle of the game, and least favorite stage in general. It's just so random. And not suited for most characters in the game, unless they have really high firepower like Doomguy, Vile, or Ford Armor X, or one of the two firemen, or both of the firemen. It's a strange game, but at the very least, it's not too punishing. I can start at any stage and refill my lives all to max. Hard at 1 was easily harder than this. Oh sure, the physics are really off, the controls feel a bit strange, and the balancing is off. There's too much leaps of fate and improper conveyance. But strange enough, I'm enjoying this. If I were to rate this game, it would be definitely below par, but frankly, it's one of the more enjoyably bad than just unenjoyably bad. As TV tropes would call it, so bad it's good. Or so bad it's meh. That wasn't really a collision detection problem, that was just an acceleration problem, and me standing too far to the edge. Just imagine doing this section with the right armor. Checkpoint. One of the first stages to actually have a checkpoint. Although the previous ones didn't really need them because they were so short anyways. Nope, I may play the ROM hack of Mega Man X1, that's all. Despite the inclusion of characters from the Mega Man Classic series, we strangely don't have any 8-bit enemies. We have enemies from the 16-bit and 30-bit era, but none from 8-bit for some reason. Considering all the oddities this game includes, the crazy mashups, why not them? I will in the future. Who should I play as next? Well, second Armor X, probably. This is clearly the armor from Mega Man X3, as I have air slides. And my charge shots are much stronger. Whoops. One more hard hat? Next week. Next week I'll start playing hard hat 2. Oh, X2, got it. I was under the impression it was making X3, but with the charge shot, yeah, X2. Thanks for pointing that out. Again, I accidentally activated mid-air because the same button for dashing mid-air. Because ground dashing and air dashing have the same button. So a combination of X1, X2, and X3's armors, maybe? It's been a long while since I last played X1, so I don't recall the exact armor design. Nevertheless, I like it. So a combination of all 3 armors from X1 through 3. Certainly I appreciate the upgrade. Oh yeah, by the way, I can skip this entire section and do it this way. The only problem is are enemies like this. That's why they were placed over there. So I couldn't just completely circumvent the challenge with one of the X characters. If you want to see even more wackier gameplay, try Mega Man X next. Reminder of how powerful the fully charged shot is. X1 gives you the Hadouken, X2 gives you the Shoryuken. Perhaps Zero is a secret character. Only if Zero gets injured at the penultimate stage, though. Level 17. Which character should I play through level 17 with? We're getting near the end of the main game, so I'm gonna play as this character for the last 2 stages before the last stage. I'm gonna save Last Armor for the final stage for a very particular reason. You'll see what I mean. More Doom Guy, got it. Why don't you pick Doom Guy, considering the boss coming up? Hi, Mancubus. Well, that went rather poorly. Time to use rockets this time. Where was the platform? Oh, there it was. Both me and the boss are rather fragile, that's the issue. Done. The Mancubus has been defeated. Level 18. One more stage, then we're at the end. Reminder that some of the weapons are not really balanced. The rocket launcher just tears through all the bosses. It's called Mancubus, but... Also, this is not how the plasma rifle is supposed to work in 2D. It's supposed to home in on enemies, slightly home in. That's how it worked in the original Doom, and Mini Doom for that matter. Yes, I have, both games. First one was a 2D platformer, second one was a 3D action platformer. I recognize these two. Hi, Baron of Hell. Or is it Hell Knight? In post, I'll have to adjust the audio of this game. Apparently the audio was not compressed when it was being developed. We're out of here. Time for the final stage, and for this one, I'll be using X's final armor. The reason being for the final boss battle. Remember what Daibuman said about Boomer Koanger's stage? Suddenly after completing the last stage in Hell, we're suddenly taken to a variant of his stage. This is one of the reasons why I wanted to play through the stage as X. He's the best suited for this kind of stage. If you're playing as a character, if you're playing like a character as Vile, you'll have a lot of problems with sections like these. Yet we still have enemies from Doom. It does feel more like a Mega Man game now. Just with enemies from different franchises, but I'm more okay with that. Now this level actually has proper conveyance for one. There is a way to make this game's camera better by adjusting the game window size, but that causes a whole bunch of other issues, so that's why I didn't do it. I heard this enemy. Pretty much Daibuman. Up until the end, or the last section before the end, where we'll see one somewhat significant change. Hi there, Mancubus. Still the best level in the game, and that's saying a lot. Final section time. This is where things get a bit strange. And we start actually applying things from future Mega Man X games, and whoa, the game is starting to lag for some reason. I think this game has a memory leak problem. Yep, I have Giga Crash. Hello there, Mega Man X6. And your Nightmare Forces. They are weaker versions of the bosses, though. Take that as comforting. You thought you could escape from the nightmare? You thought wrong. I don't have up dash, so this is the X2 armor. Well, I made it to the end, but now the game is lagging. Probably a memory leak issue. The next game will not have that issue. Time for the final boss. The Giant Revenant. Be careful of that fireball attack, it's extremely damaging. In order to dodge it, get up over here. This boss battle is not supposed to be this slow, by the way. It's because of memory leak. If you're playing as a character like Mega Man Classic or Fireman, that removes half of your health bar, by the way. That removes the shaves off half your health. For demonstration. You can also knock them out of that attack by hitting them with a big enough charge shot, but I find it to be inconsistent. Just stay up here until they're done with that attack. And they can respawn these enemies. It's over. The main game of Base Abyss has been completed. About that. The last update was in 2016 or so this is it for the game. Now, time to check out some of the custom stages, then I'll move on to the next game. Yeah, this game certainly felt somewhat like a fever dream. So here are all the latest stages. Let's check out Hunter Base 1. And for the sake of our sanity, I'll play through it as X. So yeah, this game will be done in about 10 minutes. Slipped off. Whoops. Good thing I didn't encounter this during the main game. It's possible to actually clip into the terrain like that. Well, I did encounter it, but that's after I died, so... That's not a problem with the level designer, more of an issue with the game itself. I will eventually play Metroid Fusion, by the way. Gates Laboratory Team. And a bunch of enemies that were dummied out for the main game. For example, some of these stone enemies from Mega Man X6, I think. And the graphics from Mega Man X5 and 6. Hello, Sprite Clash. Still better than Mega Man X6. Whoops. I didn't think that I didn't see there was spikes there. I thought they were actually just part of the background. Sure I will. That's the problem with these sorts of games. It starts out lower, then suddenly increases in volume. Someone forgot to compress the audio. Better? Frankly, this stage doesn't probably represent why X6 was that bad. If X6 was as bad as this, it would be a much better game. Not much, I started playing some custom levels. I'll play one more custom stage, then I'll end off this game. And give my final thoughts, although you already know what my final thoughts on this game are. Oof. I was hoping to be solid ground there. Physics. X8 and command mission, sure. One more custom stage, and let's hope that something's a bit better. Most of these custom stages are hampered by this game's awkward physics. It did die, Boomin. So much dummied out graphics and enemies in these stages that weren't part of the main game for whatever reason. By the way, these blue orbs actually heal you when you pick them up. Many people hate Gate Slab for very valid reasons. Hoping to collect that. I got killed by the screen boundary getting changed. The nightmare effects were one of the worst aspects of Mega Man X6, especially because of how random they were when they activated. Can't get that, sadly. Oh, checkpoint was right over there too. This level is still better than most of the stages in the base game. For one, we don't actually have as many bottomless pits. Just quite a bit of enemy spam. Whoa, well, that marks the end of the stage. Someone forgot to set a collision detection correctly. So here are my overall thoughts on this game as a whole. This was, to put it bluntly, so bad it's good. The physics and controls were rather off, the characters were not balanced with each other, the stage difficulty, although in general did gradually go upwards, and I did like how each set of stages constituted a world with a boss at the end, they still felt rather inconsistent, and the level design was poor because it suffered from bad conveyance. There were so many leaps of fate. I know there's a way you can fix this problem by... Let me show you something. See over here? Window? You can actually switch this to widescreen mode, but if you decide to do that, or vertical dual screen mode, it breaks the camera in a few ways and makes it rather awkward to play, hence why I played it in a normal setting. You can also play the game in turbo mode, but I'm not sure why you would want to do that. This game poses a lot of fun ideas, as several of the characters are fun to play as, like Boat Fireman, Freeze Man, the X-Armors, Doom Guy, Bass, Samus. I like the mishmashing of elements from different franchises, very desperate franchises for that matter, but the end execution is rather poor. It could have been a decent game with a lot of reworking of physics and controls, and making the level design actually follow proper conveyance, perhaps zoom it out a bit, but as it stands right now, it's just a somewhat entertaining experiment. Alright, I'll be right back in a moment. One moment please, because I need to take a short break and set up the next game. Alright, I'm gonna spend the next few minutes setting up the game because of a slight technical issue. So sit tight and... what? Await, I guess. It's also a flash game, so I need to crop it a bit. Well, that's where I downloaded the Metroid ROM hack and whatnot. Alright, time to recrop this. I wish you could lock onto the middle, and I know I can download it, but it results in its own set of weird problems. Play X6 and X7 with the same controller? I'm not sure if that's even... well, that is possible, but unless you want to hate yourself. X6 is worse, honestly. I found X7 to just be, at worst, boring. But X6, ugh, that was the pain. It is challenging, but not necessarily for good reasons. Welcome to the stream, Eduardo. I'm setting up for the next game. Pretty good. Just finished Mega Base Abyss, a very peculiar fan game. I don't hate it, but it was not good. Yep, I've heard of Sonic before the sequel, after the sequel. Wasn't there another game in that series? I swear and there's another one. Chrono Adventure, that's the one. Thanks for pointing it out. Alright, let's hope this works. (802101). War was beginning. Time was television's mad from casted side, mad for serving humans and then not having future. They now come for all your base. Greetings everyone, my name is Etterville, and I welcome you all to my live Let's Play of Cathode Raybits, an 8-bit freeware game that's heavily inspired by the Mega Man Classic series. I'll be doing a full playthrough of this and go through the entirety of the game. This will also be semi-blind, as I only completed the 6 main quote-unquote roadmasters of the game. So without further ado, let's begin. Here are 8 bots: Laser Raybot, Bomb Raybot, Beam Raybot, Fire Raybot, Sword Raybot, and Shield Raybot. I'll start off by going after Laser Raybot. Think of them as the 6 RMs of the game. So here's our main character, a soldier. We can jump and shoot, no sliding, but we have access to a charge shot. Just don't fire for a while and it'll automatically charge up. So it's called the M-Blaster, and we also have access to the P-Balloon. Okay, the game decided to be a bit more generous and give me a life immediately. make sure to get as many lives as possible. This game, especially compared with its successor, has a few areas where it's kind of jerkish. Thankfully, the P-Balloon does not despawn when you swap weapons. The character is definitely bigger than usual, and that also applies to his hitbox. There's a reason why his hitbox is so big, and that happens to be because this game is a remake of Cathode Raybits, which I'll eventually let's play on this channel too, or at least showcase. It's basically, this soldier basically plays as Mega Man, but with a bigger hitbox and access to charge shots, weaker charge shots. The main gimmicks of this stage are basically The main gimmicks of this stage are the blocks and ladders. The main gimmicks of this stage are the blocks and elevators. Mind you, the soldiers' physics are a bit different from Mega Man Classics, so be careful. That was the first stage. Time to face off against Laser Raybot, who is also bigger than usual. They share the same hitbox as I do. He's basically the Toadman of the group, though slightly more damaging and dangerous. By defeating him, I get the split laser. Didn't mean to actually go through his stage again. You can actually go through the same stages in order to get some extra goodies, but thankfully you can exit out of the stages by just clicking on back. Or going to menu, I mean. So choose who I should go after next. Bomb, beam, fire, or shield. I'll save sword for last. There is a reason why I'll go after sword last. He's the toughest of the group. Shield, thank you. Sword is easily the hardest stage in the game. The hardest Roadmaster stage. I have his weakness, which is the split laser, but still, I want Shieldman's weapon first. Well, Shield Bot. Already this game is more decent compared to the previous one. Everything feels cohesive and feels like it exists in the same universe. This stage's main gimmicks are these conveyor belts, which makes it the second hardest stage in the main game. At least you can one-shot those enemies, otherwise that's a rather painful section. I wanted that E-tank. Oh well, mini-boss time. I can always go back for it later. Checkpoint. This definitely feels like it fits in a Mega Man universe, though perhaps a different Mega Man universe, perhaps an AU. Shield Raybot's weapon is really powerful. Sorry, I'll keep calling them Shield Man, Sword Man, etc. I played too much Mega Man Classic. This game was made way back in, I believe, 2014 or 2004. I'll have to double check. Could someone double check and see when this game was made? Music sounds fine to me. Though the music always resets when I open and close the menu. 2014, got it. The sequel was made in 2016. You again, but with conveyor belts. Might as well try using the split laser. Frankly, the split laser is rather weak. The only use for it is for weakness affiliations and hitting enemies above and below you. No, this is Shield Man. I don't know what has to do with shields. Shield Raybots, sorry. Basically, Dabuman is essentially the worst weapon of the game. Last checkpoint before the boss checkpoint. And the hardest part of the stage. These jumps. That's why I'm using the P-balloon and stuff for them. I can't tell you enough how many times I died in this last section alone and game over. Some I got this on my first attempt. Well, it will, Jaden, because we've backed it up already. You can already play the SWF file. You can already download the game and play the SWF file. So essentially, weaker Woodman. Roka-chan, though, King plays several countermeasures, so you can't easily download it, sadly. Now that Shield and Laser have been defeated, who should I go after next? Okay, Beam Raybot. Okay, I think I may have glitched the game slightly. Whoops. I paid too much attention to what was going on elsewhere. Yeah, I think what happened when I clicked menu, I accidentally removed my own laser weapon. Whoops. So I'll have to go through Laser Ray boss stage again. I basically managed to exit the stage before it's saved. Okay, basically what the orbital barrier does is protect you against one enemy hit, and if you take a hit from an enemy, it temporarily renders you invincible. Here we go. You know what this stage is called. Force beam time. Better than usual force beams, as these are proximity sensor triggered. Much better than the force beams in general Mega Man. Slow beams and a proximity triggered. A much more fair version of Rainbow Man, to be honest. Second force beam section. Well, slow beam. Compared to Quick Man, this feels like a jolly stroll, and I accidentally didn't walk far enough to the left. I thought I walked off the cliff, but guess not. That was me not paying attention, that's all. That was my fault, not the game's fault. What happened was, I thought I walked to the left, but I didn't. It's faster than a Belmont strut. It's faster than a Belmont strut. Also, there are several places where you can just relax and wait. See what I mean? That was just me screwing up. Frankly, Beam Raybot is one of the easiest stages in the game. So here's Beam, the happy one of the group. Both me and the bosses have lower invulnerability frames, so they die pretty fast. By defeating him, I get the Side Crasher. So where to next? That was due to a glitch medal. I accidentally exited the stage just as it saved. Fire it is. I'll have to go through Beam Raybot stage again. I'll have to go through Laser Raybot stage again. Oh. Oh no. Okay, I think I know what's happening. See, I think what's happening is because of the version of Flash I'm playing this on, the game is not responding the way it's supposed to. Alright. Time to do some fixes. Time for Plan B. I was worried one of these games was going to use one of the Flash features which became unsupported. Bye, Kroby. Let's see if this works better. Let me try going to Laser Ray Boss stage again and see if it gets replaced or not. If it does happen again, well, I'll have to mercy kill this. The funny thing is, I tried it out the other day and it didn't have this issue, but then again I tried it on a different browser. Sorry viewers, sometimes this happens. Give me a moment, I need to readjust the game size. So, let me reset this. Yeah, I'll be able to edit those out in the LP version of this. For those watching the LP, you won't see this. Yeah, please come back in about 10 minutes or so when I get back to where it was, and hope this actually fixes the issue. As for how this game is, Buster, it's decent. The only unfortunate thing is that saving kinda got broken due to the Flash update. Or because Flash is getting old. Mega Man Dong. Sure, I'll play it next week. I'll have to double check a playthrough of it to see how not safe for work it is. Well, I heard about it, but it doesn't really have any not safe for work content, from what I've heard, but I want to double check myself. I know it's made by some folks that's something awful. When was Unlimited released, by the way? Just as a point of comparison. Not as good as Roku-chan, but decent. Bosses are rather easy though. 2013, so this game was released after Unlimited was released. Also, apologies if the graphics look a bit off. I had to modify the game resolution, and so it's not 1-to-1 anymore. The lack of checkpoints is my biggest problem with Unlimited. I tend to be more forgiving of the former if we have ladder. No, I haven't, Jaden. If only I knew when he was gonna jump. Well, it is probably consistent, but I'm just screwing it up. So far, all the bosses in this game have consistent patterns. Okay, he jumps when I jump, I think. Somehow I got on my first attempt and now it's screwing it up. No, not Chibi Doom Guy, someone else. Done. Now let's see if this works and whether I have to mercy kill this or not. I hope not. Alright, I have the weapons. I don't need to mercy kill this. Good news, everyone. So for those watching the LP version, I'll skip all this part where I had the technical issues. What I'm using now is essentially my dev kit for Flashpoint. You're not usually supposed to use this for playing games other than testing, but one of the situations where I'm forced to, I guess. Whoops. It does look a bit like Master Chief. This game also has a sequel which came out in 2016, and it's a lot better than this one. For one, the level design is a lot fairer, I guess. But for what it is, it's pretty decent. Remember, this game has slightly different physics, and I'm playing this with a keyboard. I need to set up auto hotkey for some of these games. Oh, by the way, something important. I don't have tap jumps exactly. Here's me tapping the button to jump. Here's me holding it down. Not much difference. It's alright. Glad you can make it, Mega Man. I'll be running another stream tonight. Hardest part of the stage. These jumps. I don't know why they decided to make them so spread out. At least there's a checkpoint at the beginning, but... one of the places where the split laser actually is useful not sure why. Well, I already gone through this section a few times, that's why. After this point, I'll take a short break and then we'll resume. I thought I jumped high enough. Of course, game over. I thought I'd go down to 0, but let's do this again. To be fair, at least we started with 3 lives, and I needed to do a reset afterwards anyways. Plus, I want to save my E-Tank for a particular stage in the future. Thankfully I still maintain my tanks from the earlier stages. Welcome back, Metal General. This is my second attempt through the stage. I died at the boss. Let's use this. Best to use this in open areas. Like so. Deals quite a bit of damage per hit. It is. I just swapped over to essentially a dev environment, which I use for testing games in Flashpoint. You're not supposed to use this normally, I mean for playing games regularly, but I had no choice here. Time for the hard part of the stage, where I question the dev's decision to actually why to put the gaps so far from each other. This last jump is painful. I have his weakness, but... well, actually I don't have his weakness, never mind. But it's not really special weapons, it's just the P-Balloon, which is really handy in this game as it doesn't despawn. Damage boosting to the bosses seems to be a viable strategy. Swordman well, okay, I'll be right back in a moment. I'll do Swordman. And I'm back. For those watching the Let's Play version of this game, here's what happened. Essentially, due to a different flashback version in Firefox that I was using to play this game earlier, it didn't save the fact that I defeated each of the Raybots. Well, it saved one by one, but not all of them at once. So I decided to download the SWF and play it in my personal Flash player, which I've customized to work for Flashpoint debugging and whatnot. So I redid Laser Raybot, Beam Raybot, and Shield Raybot stages. Philip asked me to go to Sword Raybot, so might as well. I have his weakness, so it should make it a bit easier. It was. Mind you, this saving issue is not the game's fault, it's Flash's fault. So don't blame the game for this. This is the hardest RM stage in the game. Well, not RM, RB. And the reason is because of all these springs. That's why I wanted the shield weapon for the stage first, because it renders me temporarily invulnerable when I hit a foe with it on. Number 2 is better, by the way, which I keep emphasizing, it has a lot more fair design. I also have Sword Raybot's weakness. By the way, I can't control my jump height with these springs. They're always the same. These swords are gonna pose a huge problem later. Frankly, I find it funny that we don't have downwards facing springs in Mega Man Maker yet. It's the other way around, Philip. Sword Bot is weak to the laser weapon. Shield Bot is weak to the sword weapon. Funny how the toughest stage is weak to the easiest stage. Here's where the pain begins. See these swords? I could run past them, but... no, thank you. And I can't destroy them either, that's the other problem. How did I dodge that? Pro tip, if you want to go to this stage, do Shield Bot's stage first. Otherwise, you will die in those sections. If only I can control my jump height with these springs. Not sure, Metal General, that's a glitch. I think that was fixed in the second game. And of course, it's like classic Mega Man, so enemies respawn once you fall down. Or exit re-enter the screen, I mean. See the problem here? The other issue, I think I need to hold down the jump button here. Other issue is the checkpoint is right before this section. I wish it was after this section. See, that's the way you're supposed to do it, but who would have thought a first-time player would do it properly? That's a sudden difficulty spike. Nah, I just watch most movies at home. We don't know who the main villain is here. Of this game, that is. Well, not yet anyways. On today's episode of Who Thought This Was a Good Idea... Okay, you can jump higher. But you need to time it just right. Otherwise... See, if you hold down the button, jump button, when you land on top of it, it doesn't work. You have to press the button just as you hit it. Otherwise, it will not activate. Yeah, basically Mario Springs. The S-Crasher works better against waves of weak foes. Oh boy. This is the part of the stage which I'm really worried about. It's because of these. Who thought it was a good idea to put moving springs over bottomless pits as the first introduction? Out of all the stages in the game, this is the most poorly designed for that reason alone. Almost made it. If I could damage... yeah. Ran out of lives. That's why I want to go through Sword Raybot stage last. It's so much more difficult than the rest of the stages, by a massive amount. So let's go back to Fire Raybot and do it that way. And it's not like the E-Tanks can save you. These are all instant death hazards. The problem is it's inconsistently hard. There is one more stage that's more difficult than Sword Raybot's level, and that's the final stage, but that makes sense. So Fire Raybot stage has the oil fires. Knockback is stronger here. Also, tackle fires make their appearance. Way to cheese this enemy. Unlike Mega Man Maker though, the fire propagates gradually, not instantaneously. Yeah, we're essentially playing as a human character. So this is essentially a hothead. I think I have his weakness, but that's shared with the boss. That's why I don't want to use it yet. Okay, I'll just use it once. Yeah, basically Oil Man, but running in the oil doesn't decrease my movement and jump speed. Not to mention we have the fire beams from Fireman's stage. Also, this stage shares the same theme as one of the other stages. So a hot boy, hot fly, firefly. I'll call them giant fireflies. They're essentially larger versions of this enemy. Alright. Did you think the previous mini-boss was too easy? Take this on for size. Now you must destroy the tackle fires, otherwise you're dead. Or just use the S-Crasher, which one-shots them. Reminder that I believe this is their weakness. Someone forgot to turn this on. Still better than most other Flash games for that matter. Gimme, thank you. Also, that line in the background is more of a function of the scaling being broken because I'm using a dev environment. That's not how it's supposed to look. And me being bad. This is still better design than the previous game, though much harder. Thankfully, those tackle fires cannot reach me. It's done. Stage is over. If you want long and tedious, see Sword Raybot stage. Here comes Fire Raybot. He pretty much gets wrecked by his weakness if he stands in it. As it just ignores his invulnerability frames. And by defeating him I get the Magma Wave. Next up is Bomb Raybot. He's the third hardest of the Raybots, or second hardest depending on how you look at it. It's because of those missiles. Well, the reason why they have this character design is more because of forced constraints. This is an 8-bit remake of another game, and that game had this sort of generic design for a very particular reason. The game I'm referring to is Cathode Raybits. Yep, no doors. That's added in the next game, I believe. Oh, by the way, here's Magma Wave. Also, the life bar is being obscured there. Someone forgot to layer it properly. And yes, you can still get that, by the way. If you're better at jumping, like I'm not. Oh, guess not. By listening to other people, taking notes of what's being talked about. Hull Barrier is easily the best weapon in the entire game. The biggest problem with the stage is kind of the gotcha moments with the missiles. Whoa, There's also another issue or minor glitch. If you try jumping off the bombs, for some reason you can't jump as high. And checkpoint should have been after this room, not before the room. See what I mean? I was pressing down the key, but for some reason 2 of the bombs, or 3 of the bombs, artificially decrease the jump height. I strongly believe that's a bug with the game, more than anything else. Because nowhere else in the game it happens. Reminder that this is also fixed in the future game. It also fixes the jump height problems, so you can tap jump. Hey, no one said this game was gonna be easy. And this is not supposed to be the hardest part of the stage. It's just a very odd glitch. Yeah, strange jumping block. Yep, strange jumping bugs. True that, Buster. I'm blaming more the game than the developer because they fixed it in the future game, in this game's sequel. So clearly they knew what the problem was. That was me walking off the platform. What I disagree with is the placement of the checkpoint, though. It really should be after the screen, not before. And the placement of some of the missiles. And if the knockback was reduced. Please don't put big eye enemies like this over here. Made it to the end. This would be a boss door if this was a regular game, but it's different. His weakness is Fire Raybot's weapon, the Magma Beam, because fire blows up the bombs. And you get so much ammo for it. Just look at it, destroyed. Outside of the odd jumping bugs and some of the placements of the missiles, this was an okay stage. It did fit its gimmick, but you know what that means. Back to Sword Raybot. This game shares quite a bit with Mega Man 1. It has 6 RMs, 6 bosses, and 6 simpler elements. I'm gonna force the game over here because I want to be back at 3 lives. I don't want to go through the stage with only 2 lives. No siree. This is gonna be fun to edit, as I'll be editing out most of these failures. Well, this game was designed for Pico Day 2014 for Newgrounds. Let's see how R-Bomb works. Pretty weak initially, but stronger when it hits something. Uses quite a bit of ammo though, so use it only against the tough foes. See ya, Mega Man. Hope to see you during tonight's stream where I'll be covering Mega Man Fusion. The Mega Man Fusion collab for Mega Man Maker. Mega Tank Man as well. But this is a more full-fledged title in the first place. Mega Tank Man was only one stage. This is a full fan game with 7 or so stages. Wow, I didn't realize you could clip through it like that. Sorry folks, but I need 3 lives for that last part. There is such a significant difficulty spike when the moving springs come into play. Which wouldn't be another problem if there weren't as many enemies. Let me put it this way, Bomb Raybot stage was harder than usual due to engine glitches and some strange placements. This is due to bad level design. At the very least, introduce the springs over a safe environment, not a bombless pit, please. Even Springman stage did that, Springman and Nightman. Because I like the concepts of the springs and moving springs, it's just that they're introduced poorly. Back over here. I wish the orbital shield protected me against spikes. That'd make it even more amazing. I'm already more than halfway through the second game, CMB. Here we go again. I don't think you're intending to do it over here, but might as well. First game was certainly an experience. That'll be split up into a 2-episode Let's Play. Or perhaps 1 part, depending on how it works. Who thought it was a good idea to place that? In some ways it feels the stage was made by a different author, or someone who's much more sadistic, compared to the rest of the game. Reminder, doing this blaster only is... I may start the checkpoint at the start of this, but this is far from the end of the stage. Also, checkpoint should have been here, not there. Sometimes I also get knocked over to a better side. If only I had the skull barrier. That's what I need most. What? One must have despawned. Again, if it was spikes down there, or I could actually damage boost, or if the enemies didn't really exist everywhere to ruin my day, this would be fine. Or I had a spike shield. I'm gonna die again, probably. Why do the enemies here have to be such... Well, I'm complaining enough. Let's just do this. If I hit an enemy from the top, then I'm fine. Wow, Physics. That's why I wanted to save this stage for last. It's like this stage came from an entirely different game, or suddenly someone just turned out the difficulty behind the scenes. Because before that point it was fine. For the most part. The knockback is part of the problem, but the existence of so many enemies there and the improper introduction, it just turns the stage into a mini Kaizo. And I can't equip the orbital barrier and the other weapon at the same time. That's the strangest... yeah, that's one way of putting it. Because the rest of the stages outside of Bomb Raybot are fine, but as I said, Bomb Raybot's problems were due to a combination of enemy placement, well, mainly missile placements, and glitches. This doesn't feel like Tengu Man at all. Maybe Gate, but I don't recognize Tengu Man from this. There's no bubble whatsoever here. The thing it reminds me most of is a combination of Nightman and Springman, well mainly Nightman, but taken to a painful degree. This is Swordman after all. Sword Raybot. Sorry. Oh, how I wish I had a jet. Nightman, but his state is worse and so much more painful. P-Balloon is easily one of the best stuff in the game, combined with the shield. Okay. And that's it, that's the end of the stage, no more. I was worried there was going to be a final section. I'll just use this weakness. And by defeating him I get the Energy Strike, which I'll call the Energy Sword. Alright, with all 6 Ray Boss defeated, the only thing left is Mr. Fulp. Or should we call him Dr. Fulp? I'm back to 3 lives at the very least. The game was nice enough to do that. Let's try the Energy Strike. It's actually handy against overhead enemies, not so much against other enemies, sadly. Oh yeah. Fortress stage and all that. We're probably gonna have a Raybot rematch room too. And you know what that means, springs are coming back. I see the references to Tank Man, the fast forward button, and the angry face. Whoa, Newgrounds reference, man. You know what that means. When there's bombs, there's missiles nearby. You again. You should be weak to the Energy Strike, actually. No, wait. Who is strong against laser? Bomb, actually. Yeah, you're really weak to the bomb. This is the Force Beam section. This is kind of like Mega Man 11, where the mini-bosses and bosses share the same weakness affiliations. Strawberry Clock? Keep the orbital barrier as high as possible. You're standing on top of nothing there. True, this game actually had better conveyance. I mean, the only stage where I have problems with was just Sword. The rest were fine. So I'm not blaming the game for bad conveyance. Oh boy. Get used to the repeating musical tracks. Where were you? I forget which stage you come from. I'm not gonna risk it. So each section of the stage recreates a different part, a different stage essentially, while having references to Newground in the background and oh my... I knew Shield was coming up. I knew that I was gonna die once here. I should have just stood on the left. Should be checkpoints at the start of every one of these. Really, game? That's not good design. You should have put the checkpoint after this, at the start of the next section, not every 2 sections. This is where I'll call out the game for stuff. And getting knocked in midair. I'm so used to my own classic physics where I believe I'm supposed to get knocked back, not just stuck in midair. And this is all one stage, so if I game over, I'm sent back to the beginning. Perhaps I should have farmed the lives before. Yep. That's why I'm only going to play 2 games a day. I'm probably going to game over here and be forced to start this from the very beginning. See, put a checkpoint here, that would be a good place. Wow, you phased right through the spikes? Seriously? That's a change in behavior that we never seen before. Alright. Before I go back to that stage, I'm gonna farm over at least 2 more lives. Remember, I can exit out of stages at any time now? You know what that means. If this was broken up into mini stages, it'd be better. You know, just like the Wily Fortress levels. Sorry, but this is just for convenience, and so I don't game over right at the fault capsule or something. Welcome back, Metal. I made it to the final stage and game overed. So I'm just gonna farm up lives up to 9 before going out default. See, I like the ideas, sort of, excluding some of the sections, but it really needs more checkpoints. Don't put a checkpoint after every 2 sections, after every 1 section. I'll cut out this farming in the Let's Play version, don't worry. See you later, Jaden. That's 9 lives. All I can say, Buster, is that the second game improved upon this first game in many different categories, one of which is level design being a lot more fair, and there being much less bugs too. Let's try Mr. Phelps stage again. And hope we have better results this time. And for those watching the LP, off screen, I farmed up back up to 9 lives. This stage should have had checkpoints after every section, not every 2 sections. It's only partly bad level design. Like, some sections are definitely built better than others. Each section is based off of a stage I already went through. That was my bad for going ahead too fast. I kind of wish my charge shot was bigger as well. Also, I think I'm breaking the game a bit. The pause menu is glitching. This enemy doesn't stand out enough from the background. See, enter, enter, enter. So 1 enter to enter the pause menu, but 2 to get out. This missile section is better than the one in Bomb Raybot. I'll never get used to calling them Raybots. Like I said, the mini-bosses and bosses share the same weaknesses. You would think the Force Main section would be the hardest, but no, it's the Spring section. What a change in Mega Man history. Oh no, stuff is happening in the background if I don't double do it. See what I mean? So I need to double tap the fire button. I need to double tap the pause menu repeatedly, otherwise I'll end up with a situation where the game runs in the background, see? So let me show you something. Enter, enter. You can hear the fire in the background. Stuff is happening. I don't know what happened, but I guess by farming I broke something. I ran out of O barrier as well, and I really need it soon. Well, I hit the next checkpoint at the very least. I don't like this sort of cannon placement, not in the slightest. And I'm out of that too, so... Thank you, game. I wish I knew what you were weak to. Which stage does this mini-boss come from, viewers? Do you recall? If I know what it is, then I can use this weakness against it. Or not. Okay, pause problems. Oh my gosh. Shield. See, there's even a short delay before I can tap the button again. I'm not sure if this is gonna be doable now. Because I need the precision for the next section. If Fifth shield should be weak to this. Nope, it's not then. I'm gonna have to do the next section Buster only, probably. And this is why I fear doing it Buster only. Get used to me defeating the circle boss multiple times. Again, this wouldn't be so problematic if the pause glitch didn't happen here. And I can't just easily restart exit the game, because I'm not sure if it's going to reset my progress. So if I game over here, I'll try doing that, and if it resets my progress, I'll end off the stream and finish the game during the next stream. Okay, that's different. Music's changed. Could this be it? The fault machine. That was the last challenge, hardest for last, so... Time for the Fulp capsule. Oh, telefrag me. Thank you, Mr. Fulp. Any guesses of what the weakness is? Let's try out everything. Nope. Okay. Got a pretty super effective weakness. Yeah, this is the final boss and I broke the music. It's the most awkward weapon to hit him with, that's his weakness. See how fast I destroy him with that? Split laser, I guess? Yeah, split laser works wonders. Weakest weapon in the game, but double hits does double damage to the boss. We're supposed to have some music here, but I guess the pause glitch affected something else too. Sorry viewers, add that to the list of stuff that's happening due to Flash. It's over. Mr. Fob, you've been defeated. Chasing away Mr. Fob and his creations, Sir Tough Guy managed to save the world from Newgrounds. Hold on, so we're the bad guy then? You're supposed to hear a somewhat awesome final boss team, but combined with all the other issues, and I guess by downloading this SWF file it broke that. Here are my overall thoughts in this game. It was a decent freeware online Flash game heavily inspired by the Mega Man Classic series, but it had a few issues. For one, most of the weapons felt rather weak. Outside of the orbital shield and perhaps the magma wave, and not to mention the power balloon being an awesome utility, all weapons felt underpowered outside of weakness affiliations and very particular setups. In terms of stages, well, Laser Raybot, Beam Raybot, Fire Raybot, and Shield Raybot I thought were fine, but I had issues with Bomb Raybot, mainly due to conveyance of the missiles and some glitches with jumping off the bombs, and Sword Raybot badly introducing the springs, especially the moving springs, just before the end of the stage. That was such a huge difficulty spike, it was even harder than Mr. Fob's stage. I mean, we never even saw the moving springs in Mr. Fob's stage, so I don't know why. Adding the moving springs right over Bottomless Pits turned Sword Raybot's last part of the stage into a Kaizo level. Mr. Fob's stage should have had 1 or 2 more checkpoints per section, especially near the end with the recreation or redux of Sword Raybot. I like how it had reduxes of all 6 levels, and I like how we don't have the usual trope of repeating all the boss battles, we only have the trope of repeating the mini-boss battles. Plus, I like how most of the mini-bosses, or it seems all the mini-bosses, share the same weaknesses as the original Raybots. And I do like how you can re-go through the same stages to stock up on E-tanks and extra lives. It was a bit unfortunate that we had the pause glitch at the end, forcing me to do the last section with Sword Raybot the legitimate way, blaster only, and we didn't hear the awesome final boss team. So overall, this was a perfectly serviceable remake of Cathode Raybits. The sequel does a much better job at everything, and I will cover that in the future. Well then, I thank you all for watching my Let's Play of Cathode Raybits, viewers. If you enjoyed this Let's Play, please rate, favorite, comment, and or subscribe, as they all help out the channel. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter as well as join my new Discord server, as I regularly post updates there. Well then, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you all in a future Let's Play. So this marks the end of this stream. Tonight, I'll start my Let's Play, or move on to covering the Mega Man Fusion collab, of which Daibuman was one of the contributors. Yeah, I'll see you in a few hours, in about 6-ish hours, viewers. 6-ish. My voice is dying. So bye everyone, thanks for joining. These will be edited down and posted on the channel in about 2 or 3 weeks. See ya.